Hey friends, so I just finished reacting to episode 2 of Laid Back Camp. We're about to dive into episode 3. I really do appreciate, and multiple animes do this, but I really do appreciate how some of these really softer animes, especially Laid Back Camp, will have a couple of episodes back to back, maybe even 3 or more, about the same kind of, around the same sort of time or event, so to speak. It kind of allows us to sort of really enjoy the series. And considering how laid back this series is, and how kind of it's still about a really good, it's so character focused and so sweet focused in the middle that, it's kind of near, you kind of have to take more time at locations and events, so because it allows you to really enjoy these characters. And I kind of realized just now that, we sometimes we get the thoughts of a lot of other characters, but we don't get them as much as we do with Rin. I think she definitely is, out of all of them, the most introspective, the most introverted. And so she's always constantly in her head. She loves to read. So that's why so many introverts like, okay, we're not really people persons. We'll have maybe one person who's our person. And through Nadeshiko, she has really been able to connect and meet other people as she's been making friends and camping. Rin's been kind of, without realizing it, making friends too. And, like I said, if you look at the intro of the show, you see all of them hanging out together and going places. And again, you see them all going towards the same location. But all the other girls are in the car, whereas Rin is on her bike. So she is still the solo camping girl. She's still kind of separate from them. She's not part of their little extroverted group. We're all gonna get together. And again, she's still not part of the outdoors club. But even though she's still her solo camping girl self, she is not going in opposite directions. She's not dragging her feet, which we kind of see in the first season, where she's really by herself a lot. And someone made a good point of pointing out that if you watch the intro, of course I wouldn't catch this, is that Rin's reply to Nadeshiko about going camping changes throughout the season until it's like, yes, let's go camping, from, no way. And so again, she's still a solo camping girl. She still prefers to be by herself, but she also still likes camping with Nadeshiko a lot as well. So those are kind of, I think camping with Nadeshiko will become kind of equal to her solo camping girl time, because she really, and it makes sense because introverts, we really we thrive on that one-on-one time. That's where we thrive. So a group thing can kind of be draining for us, but if it's just one person, it's okay. So that's which I kind of love. But and again, we've kind of touched a little bit at the beginning of last season, where Nadeshiko kind of like, yeah, I can be a bit overbearing, and even Rin's like, yeah, I probably was kind of, my reaction to you wasn't that great. And so they're sort of aware of how they can come across and how they are as people, which is very mature for them, for what you would assume teenagers would be. So it's always nice to see that maturity in those characters when they're like, oh, I kind of aware that I am behaving this way. Not everybody's like that. It just really depends on the person, of how they're raised and such. It took for me to get into my 20s, mid-20s, and for me to realize how I come across to people, how I behave. And sometimes I can't really help it, because I'm like, okay, that's you're interpreting something that I'm not doing. And then there's, no, I actually was a jerk there, or I was doing that. And so you always have to be kind of aware of that. But it makes sense that Rin would be a bit more aware, because she is such a introvert. And then Nadeshiko is so out there as an extrovert that I'm sure she's had friends like kind of go like, whoa there, buddy. So, which I'm sure we'll get to experience. I'd love to hear kind of, what that other friend's gonna say. I'm excited for that. Other than that, not much else. I'm just I miss these girls so much. It's weird to say that about an anime, but I miss these girls. They come to mean so much to me in terms of anime. And I really, really appreciate the softness of it. And thankfully, it is still chilly enough where I can wear this without burning alive. So without further ado, there's no sound. There's like no anything. Just leave me alone, copyright monsters. Let's dive in. Her butt's gotta be so cold. I'm gonna say that right now. Ooh. Mm. Hey, that's nice. When you like to stay in a nice warm house, I know you love camping, but I'm sure even she has her limits. Hey, that was nice. I like that. Hey, we're not actually getting the intro image. We're getting her traveling to Hamamatsu. I love this intro. Don't get me wrong, the first one was a bop, but this one's a bop too. I like how we're getting her traveling to Nadeshiko's grandma's place. Because she loves camping, but hey, a couple days in a warm house with someone else cooking, that sounds really nice. Oh, I love how they do the shadows for her. That's so cool. I love her little moped so much. Ooh, nice. That is nice. Okay. So she moves to a different campsite closer to Hamamatsu. I love when she's happy, little stars around her. So this is the first. So Nadeshiko won't be at the grandma's until the second and third. So she went to another campsite. That is a big bridge. Wow. Hey, there's some places that I know there are beachside places that you can yeah. But they're around bridges and stuff like that. Again, there's a bridge where I live that there's an inlet that's really popular for fishing because there's an area that's like normal beach where it's a really long beach where you can kind of hang out, and then there's the kind of fishing side of the beach as well as a shorter, higher beach, so you can also do boogie boarding if you want. But I like how she's experiencing another location. But I like how she mentioned how the campsite's so cheap. It's kind of a reminder that just because you're in a country doesn't mean the cost of living is the same across the board. Right now, the cost of living where I live is actually fairly low, even comparable to some Midwestern cities, places. But I'm about to enter New York, and that's crazy expensive. And even then, it's more expensive in certain parts of the city versus others, but still expensive. So it's a reminder that even in Japan, there's really low cost of living areas that are kind of very nice and quiet. And of course, not everything is like Tokyo. Tokyo is, it's London, it's New York, it's big international cities that can be very terrifying sometimes. But I love when you get to kind of enjoy these sort of beautiful, cities. And I think what I like a lot about where Rin and the others live is that it's kind of reminds me of where I live, where the cost of living is kind of in the middle, maybe a little bit lower. It's not too insane. Yeah. Where it's like, hey, I could learn to speak Japanese. If I moved to Japan, I would love to live in those areas. There's another, what is it, Tori out there in the middle of the ocean. Mm. That is pretty and kind of cool, actually. Then the sunset. Yeah, it has been. It's nice to start the year like that. Gotta do food. Get out, sleepyhead. I have to say, the one thing that has improved. But I was gonna say we have seen this Nadeshiko being loves sleeping, loves staying in bed, being very forgetful and not very organized. And for her, she's grown very organized and very put together. I hope that happens to me this summer. And because and being around a planner such as Rin has really helped her a lot. And I think Sakura is seeing that, her growth of her sister. So much eel. So obviously that is a big yeah. She just wants to get a few. I was gonna say, if they're ordering that much in their locals, no. I was gonna say, if they're ordering that many, it must be a tradition to get it from that place. I love how they'll go like this when they eat. It's so cute. It is part of the cute factor of this series. So she's probably able to get her 4. But I'm saying, if they're so used to it, then she'll get her 4. So serious. I love how Rain always gets surprised when Nadeshiko gets so serious in her. Not very often, but she's also incredibly sincere in all she does. Ah, birds, seagulls. Oh, those are the big seagulls. Seagulls are big birds, but those are the bigger ones, I think. Or are they the smaller ones? Yeah, we get them where we live too. And the fact that there are so many of them around is a reminder that anyway, it's a reminder that seagulls are around people and food so often that they're kind of used to them. I think she mentioned the Hamamatsu was known for its eel. I think she mentioned that. Not necessarily. Ooh. I like how Nadeshiko is still a little unkempt. Ooh. It's, what is that? They are really playing with their animation style this year. Hey. Oh, they love her. She's been so good to you. Like comment on me. Go, Papa Nadeshiko. And then Kagami. No, it would be Papa Kagamihara. There we go. Oh. Oh. Oh, alright. Dang. It's okay. That's rough. Dang. Jeez. That's. Oh, yeah, I'm like this guy. I was like, I can't watch it. Oh, no. I counter eel. Dang. That is hecka fresh. I mean, he was alive 5 minutes ago. That's kind of painful to watch. You're just like, oh, that's kind of hard. I just beat a dish I'm like, I can't watch it. He was just alive. She elevating to another plane. I've had eel, but it's probably very obviously low grade eel considering how cheap it was. Just for the food. That's funny. Of course she is. Forget how fast she eats. She's had a really nice couple of days. Like a perfect New Year's Eve. Oh, there's her friend. Oh, there's the other girl I saw. Still images there. Kitty. Nade-chan. Not the report. Look at that guy. Rin's reactions to people being there, like, huh. It's interesting. Nice. Oh, what a sweetheart. She is a very interesting kind of rhythm to her, how she see. Even the cat's watching Nadeshiko. Ooh, she was chubby. She's so fat. Yeah. Hey, Sakura looks like she has short hair there. Which is how she's able to handle biking everywhere. Fit and slim. Yeah, she kind of would be, I guess. I guess it's quite a few kilometers. She's still a little stretchy, which is surprising. Yeah, it can't get much from me. Hi, Grandma. You should. That was funny. Did you see how her eyes got all shiny there as soon as her grandma asked that? Came from normal to like super shiny. Hmm. It is not. Nadeshiko knows better. Ooh, she's got a cool bike too. Oh, it's a bike. Ooh. I like how with her they kind of emphasize her like lower lashes a little bit. Like with Al, they gave her the little pointy fangs. Oh, she gave them their gift. I'm glad she got four. Yeah, one for each of them. They're playing board game. Oh no, is that Monopoly? No, it's not. What is that? Apparently, Deshiko is very good at. Because Rin's like, what? And her other friends like, come on. It's a beautiful sunset. Ooh, she's been there for a while. Maybe that's why Rin was reacting to her, because she had this really cool girl vibe to her. Aww. Well, there's the moon, but what was that, a reflection of it? Oh, yeah. Poor girl. I was gonna say, Rin has to go very slow to keep up, you know, but just fast enough she doesn't fall over. I'm surprised she hasn't fallen over. So Nadeshiko must be biking really fast. I figured mopeds would easily fall over. Hmm. That's kind of cool. I really like that we're actually getting to see a little bit of but she biked everywhere. But because we gotta get to see where Nadeshiko came from. Oh wow, I realized my computer wasn't super bright. Yeah. It is nice to have someone to share it with. That's true. Hmm. Oh, they kind of softened the camera there a little bit. That's cute, kind of doing their own little camping there. It's very adorable. So Nadeshiko's eating ramen, they're drinking cocoa. Hmm. I like how they smile different. Like, you know, Nadeshiko still has that quite biggish smile, and then Rin has that little soft smirk. That's cool. She has more of a bike than a moped, but it's still kind of like a small motorbike. It's not like a full blown, you know, zoom zoom. Aww. Is that his or did they rent that? I love the actor for his voice is so nice. I like how he's also sometimes the narrator of the show. It kind of makes sense considering how much he influenced Rin into camping. So this is really the outro, seeing her bike like this, and kind of seeing the others kind of walk around. I think it was mainly just pictures for the last outro. Yeah, it's the same footage. Well, that was delightful and sweet. I mean, this show is a bop to the point you're like watching it and you're like, oh, how far are we in the episode? And then it ends and you're like, I want more. Oh my gosh, I'm so pale. I get so washed out so easily. This is ridiculous. And again, we're focusing mainly in this outro on Nadeshiko and Rin. And we kind of, I guess, through even them being separated and doing their own things, we are going to see, I think, more of a growth of their relationship, which is really cute. I love it so much. Oh! We haven't had a room cam. Interesting. Why would they? Calm down, Miss Liar. That's not possible. She knows she's lying. Good for you, Nadeshiko. Oh, yay! So the next episode should be about her getting her lamp then. Ai-chan was very cool. She had that kind of laid back, kind of cool girl vibe to her. Of course, that was such a sweet, sweet little episode. I liked it so much. Ai-chan was so cool. She had like the way she like spoke and the way she like moved. She was like, she's this cool girl, kind of. And I think that's why everyone kind of reacted the way she did with her. I just think it's super sweet. I love getting a taste of where Nadeshiko's come from. I love Aya-chan saying, hey, I might visit you guys. Like, okay, cool. So that will probably happen this season, but maybe next season, which we better get, we'll have Aya-chan come join, and then she'll get to meet Aki and Ao and all of that stuff, and Toba-sensei, which is super fun and sweet and exciting. And yeah, so this was, again, a very sweet episode. It kind of also talks about how we kind of just see a little bit how the relationship has shifted over the years, of not over the years, over just a few months, because, you know, we meet her at the beginning of the fall semester, I believe, and then we're moving into even more so the winter. I think so. Or no, their school system's different, so that would have been New Year's, yeah. So she did join in the fall semester, which I guess would that be mid-year in Japanese? Did she come mid-school year to that prefecture? Because don't you got doesn't as in Japan, isn't it like the first semester is spring, and then there's a summer, and then there's a fall, whereas in the at least the U.S. and the Western, it's kind of the first semester is the fall, then it's the spring, and then kind of summer is kind of weird like that. Because the way we do our semesters has to do with farm work and basically farming. That's why it shifts the way it is. That's why we vote in the fall, all of that, because it has to do with the farming culture that was originally kicked off in the States and how that had to be. I think so. But yeah, just let me know. I think I'm trying to remember that the first semester of the year is the spring, and then it's summer, and then it's fall. Anyway, that's besides the point. The point is, I think they've met in the fall. Obviously, when we came to a close, it's interesting. It's cool how we kind of closed off the season with the New Year, and we closed the season with Christmas. We kicked it off with the New Year, which is really cool. But like I said, the last season ended with Nadeshiko having all of her stuff and pretty much doing a more spring camping. So it's still chilly enough to wear a hat and a coat and all of that, but she doesn't have to be super layered up. It's very clearly spring. Greenery is coming in. Nadeshiko has her little light and all of that. What we see with this season is that we're kind of filling in the gap of that, where we're getting to see what's taking place between then and between that moment and right after the actual end of season. So that's really cool, and I hope we kind of get to the spring. So much of this is about winter camping, but I would love to experience more summer camping. I think my brother and I were watching this, and I saw it was like top 10 or top 20 places to camp in our home state, which is not a very big state. So I was like, oh, that's a lot of camping places, and I almost bought it. I took a picture. I was like, should I get it? And I was like, I'm not gonna get it. But I was like, oh, I almost bought it. But yeah, camping expensive. We have no materials for camping, so I don't think there's so much else for me to do. I think taking on something else would just be like, oh, okay. It'd be too expensive. I have other hobbies that I've abandoned over the past year because of schoolwork and stuff that I really need to get back into. Playing my instruments. They've been hanging on the wall, but I haven't touched them in, oh my gosh, over a year and a half actually. Which is insane to think about. It's just how it's kind of been, unfortunately. And I haven't written anything. I used to be a prolific writer, but I haven't written anything in a long time. So, I don't think I should be getting into camping. I'm not taking on one more thing. But this does kind of remind me and kind of encourage me to, I am doing more YouTube stuff, which is taking up a lot of time. But it doesn't mean I need to abandon. With better time management stuff, I can get back into music and get back into writing and get back into reading and all of that. Well, we're not only camps in the winter, but she made a good point where she's probably gonna do more summer camping and spring camping because of Nadeshiko. Because Nadeshiko has been bit by the camping bug, and Nadeshiko probably through her excitement, like, I want to experience what it's like to camp in the summer. And Rin will probably get pulled into that. Though it's interesting, whereas last season, slowly we got to see Rin was like kind of gripping, her little chair, digging her heels in, like, I don't want to go. But now, even though Nadeshiko doesn't even ask, she's kind of already mentally thinking about going camping in the summer and all that because she knows what Nadeshiko will want to. And she knows she might be asked. So it's kind of fun, and that's how introverts work. We have to mentally prepare ourselves. Now, Rin is doing so without even realizing it, probably, that she's mentally preparing herself to go on more summer trips, especially with Nadeshiko. And like I said, we've seen this growth, this relationship of being complete and total strangers to being comfortable enough to visit her for a day, meet her friends, sleep, stay over. So their friendship has grown quite a bit in a very short period of time, which is pretty cool. And I think that's part of the magic of Nadeshiko, is that she kind of inexplicably, by her arrival, has really brought people together in a way that, they've all gone to school for a long time, but they were part of the little, there's Aki and Ao, and then there was Saito and Rin, and then Nadeshiko was that kind of magic ingredient that brought them together, and then when Toba-sensei came, kind of, and it's funny enough, it was actually through Toba-sensei, being a prolific camper, seeing them outside with fire, being concerned, being kind of a sweetheart, that kind of got her pulled into becoming their counselor or their I forget the term for it, but basically, it all works out. It's all fate and stuff. But the show is very good at bringing things full circle, so I'm excited to see how they'll bring some of this stuff full circle. But yeah, that was just really sweet. I think that's like the most graphic I've ever seen in the episode, when they were like, he was like cutting up the eel and doing it. I was like, I can't watch. I was like, oh my gosh, what am I watching? I was like, whoa. But they were, again, so much of the show does also showcase sort of the local, like, whether it's Hamamatsu, or Hamana, sorry, or whether it's Yamanashi, no matter where they are, they're kind of like where they travel to, they do a really good job of showcasing kind of what makes each little prefecture, or what makes each little city very unique from each other. And I think that's it's a lot of fun. Again, we even see that a little bit with the room camp mini episodes, where we kind of get to see these little locations and places. I'm just like, that are, you know, if that wasn't a real game that they played, I kind of wish it was, because that would have been really fun. But what's central to this show is the relationships. And so seeing the growth of these relationships is the cutest thing ever, and I'm really enjoying it. Anyway, blathered on too long. Thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, share with your enemies, and I'll see you next time.